Good morning, No Man's Sky travelers and interlopers. Welcome to episode 11 of NMS's Life, where No Man's Sky isn't just a game, it's life. With me, as always, is my friend and fellow host, DG Squared. Good morning, DG.
Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today?
I'm excellent as always, my dude. And this week, to talk more about No Man's Sky and all the wonderful things that you can do in it, is Boid from Boid Gaming. So welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us, dude.
Oh, thanks for having me on, mate.
Boid is a hell of a content creator in No Man's Sky. He has a YouTube channel where he creates wonderful builds and bases and things like that. Maybe you can take us through your creative process. For example, when you get an idea to build something, do you vision it in your head and just kind of create it on the fly, or do you actually sit down with pen and paper and draft a design and take it from there? What is it? How do you come to fruition with these great ideas that you bring into the game?
Usually if I see something in real life through the day and that, I try and keep my eyes out for stuff what I think could go well in game. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But if I see something online or something like a nice building or something that I think could go well in it, and I'll do that as well.
So just anything that catches your eye and you just bring it into the game? That's incredible. And what's the longest you've spent creating one of these builds?
I think the longest one that I ever did was my Star Wars Millennium Falcon, because I had to actually stencil it out on ground and then like build up layer by layer just to get the actual shape in sky. So I think that took about 5-6 hours or something.
Oh wow!
But one what I've done for Galactic Construction Company the other day, this big cathedral, that took us 6 hours, and there were like 2 hours working on that. So that's probably the longest one so far.
Oh, nice. And I'll pass the conch over to DG, because you just mentioned the Galactic Construction Co., and that was something the three of us were talking about before we went live. And it just sounds incredible what you're doing with that.
Well, it just started off as an idea to a group of players who like building, to start and build bases for in-game units, which we get through trading high-class items for other players. And within like first 2 days of putting out his first advertisement, we had about 50 different people wanting bases. So we realised it was going to be quite popular. And there were also people asking to pay real money for bases. And we thought, well, rather than take money for ourselves, we'll set up a charity for Alzheimer's, and we've raised £400 so far,
oh, wow.
Which I think is about $500.
That's incredible, dude. £400.
Money for August that charity.
Could you tell us which charity that you're giving it to?
Yeah, it's just Alzheimer's Society.
Wow, well, that's incredible, Boyd.
That's a great cause. Yeah.
I'm blown away by your generosity to everybody else other than yourself. That's just fantastic. These builds that you're building, what kind of range are you building them at? Are they just houses? You mentioned you build a cathedral. What kinds of builds are you getting, or are people asking for?
Well, I've got from all my builds what I've done in the past, I've got like a catalogue of over 100 builds of my own. So we let them look at them and get an idea of what they want, and we can say, well, I'd like a bit of some build like mixed with another one, or we can just let them tell us what they want and then have something unique for them. We do like to make every build slightly different anyway, just so person's got something unique, because I don't think anyone wants all the same bases. So we just try and make them a bit different each time. But we basically build whatever they want building.
Do you take like blueprints? If somebody were to give you a set of blueprints, would you work off of something like that, or is it all just sort of freehand, or as you would say?
If somebody wanted to do that, then yeah, we'd definitely do that, and it'd probably be better for us. It's all easier, but we do usually just go with it, and if it looks right, we'll stick with it, or we'll change bits. And it seems to work out in the end.
Wow, that's fantastic. When you're accepting these builds, is there like a minimum sort of donation fee that is required, or is it, you know, whatever people can afford kind of thing?
Well, we know everyone can afford different amounts, so whatever we ask for a minimum of $5 donation. But somebody donated like £100, but in one go, which we were blown away by. But we're still trying to do the same amount of work on each build and try and make it good and please whoever donates, because £5 for someone might be the same as £100 to someone else. It's just what they can afford. So we try and do a good job on each build anyway.
Well, £5 is very reasonable. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Wow. Geez, man. You know, some of these builds that we've seen in the past from you, this is nothing new for you. You've been building since day one. As soon as that you could build a base, you were up and building some amazing stuff. I remember one of your first builds, the McDonald's, which has served over 3 billion and is still serving, it seems.
I brought it to a legacy save thing. So still in game now.
And were you able to bring that back through the next base retrieval?
Yeah,
really?
I've still got it. So
that's fantastic.
It's a bit like over a year old now, so it's great.
That's awesome. Obviously, the planetary conditions have changed, but the base is still there. I'm going to have to try and start a new account and visit it again. I need a burger.
A Geck burger.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? You know, the hub that you work out of mostly, it's the Amino Hub. Is there a link where people can contact you so that they can build these bases, or that you can have these bases built for them? Like, how do people get in touch with you?
Best way we ask is go onto his Facebook page. It's NMSGCC. And then just drop a comment on there, and one of us will get back to you. We prefer if you do it today, so that any member of the team can get back to you, so it's not just all on one person.
That's nms.gcc, is that right?
No dot. Just facebook.com/NMSGCC.
GCC, nice. And do you have a lot of people collaborating with you on this project?
Yeah, we've got more PS4 builders at the minute. We are looking for Xbox builders and PC builders to join as team, because we have had requests for bases to be built on them platforms. So we do need some more builders to join us if anyone's interested and they like building. We'll definitely got some spots open soon.
I can imagine you have a whole crew needed for some of these. You must have a large list already going. I know it took off with a bang. There's so many people that are so positive about this idea. Could you tell us, like, how big is your list of people?
We've got about 150 people who want bases for units.
And then
we've got about 5 more bases to do for donations. We've said if anyone makes a donation, because the list's that big for units, if you make a donation, you like jump up list. So we'll try and do a donation bases first. We will get around to doing all unit bases as well. We are knocking them off list one by one, but it's going to take a while.
Wow.
Indeed, 150.
Growing and growing as well. You think you've done a few, and then you've got some more people wanting them, but it's all good.
Well, I'm glad there's a lot of great builders in NMS, and I've seen a ton of them, amongst the Amino Hub and the cafe. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that are just itching to, get a chance to just get cracking and build some really cool stuff. With the new next update and all the new pieces that have added, could you tell us a little bit about what you think of the new base building features, things that you like, you don't like, and what about like complexity limits, all that stuff? super curious about some of the new features we have. What are your thoughts?
It took a lot of getting used to, but it took me a couple of weeks to get used to it. But I'm all right now. There's stuff what I preferred before Next, and there's stuff what I like after Next. Like I used to be able to put little infrastructure cubes and make them into like a circle shape on the floor to make a stencil, and then build up from them. So I could make like round shapes in the sky and stuff. And now you can't do it because they just click together as soon as you get close. So, did you ever see my big Pepsi can what I made?
I did, and I've seen your instructional videos as well on how to do that, where you've made some work on the ground, like a template, and worked your way up.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that anymore.
Wow.
But with these builds that we've done with GCC, we've started to we experiment with stuff, and we started putting glass pieces inside, glitching them into inside of cubes and stuff. So we're getting hang of it bit by bit, but I don't know.
I'm sure it won't take long.
Just added more to. There's other stuff as well when you try and place these pipes and stuff. You can't just press L1 to rotate them anymore. You've got to look up in the sky, and sometimes they don't click together and stuff. But hopefully in a few patches and that. And complexity, it can get really game breaking if you build too much. That cathedral what we just built, we did have more on it, and we had to delete some because the game just kept crashing all the time. I've built quite a few bases where it's just got too big, and I've had to delete them. Yeah, we have found if you build a base and then go quite a distance away and put another base computer down, you can add on to it, and it doesn't seem to crash as much. But problem with that, you can only upload one base computer per system up to a server. So unless someone's in your game, they won't be able to see other base anyway.
Right, you only see part of it.
Yeah, you'd only see whichever's built off at first base terminal.
Right. So a couple of little bugs to work around, but I'm sure over time we'll get the hang of things and how it make it all work together. Do you know what the complexity limit is? Actually, they say it's unlimited, but there's got to be a cap.
Yeah, it can. If you got too big, it can break the game. You can literally not be able to load your save up because it'll just keep crashing as soon as you get onto the game.
Right.
I did it with one of mine, and I had to load my save up, and then click on the previous save really quick just to go back a bit, because that's the only thing I couldn't do, and I managed to get the save again.
Right before it crashed. Yeah.
Lots of people have had problems. I play on normal PS4, so I don't know if it makes any difference on Pro or PC. But I think.
Let's cross our fingers and hope HG figures some of those things out.
yeah. There's also a problem if you get too big and you've got more than one person working on a base, that pieces start to disappear and stuff. But we're starting to get to grips where we know when we're getting to the limit, because stuff starts to lag a bit and that. So we try and wrap it up there.
Right. Yeah. I guess they've got limits to the online servers, or who's online and not online. I know they still have a few issues with the online services. I'm willing to bet that probably plays a large role in some of the rendering as well.
Yeah. Another good thing is, what we do is we ask whoever we're building for the same game with. They can go into any system and do whatever they want while we're building, but just to keep the same game every 10 minutes in case a hard crash or something like that.
Which is smart.
Pick anyone at a game who joins who we don't know, because they can just delete bases at the minute. I know there's that experimental patch in the that'll be coming soon. You can actually set privacy settings, who can build and stuff, which will be a big help to the game.
Yeah,
I think that's going to really improve the game. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I read the
Boid, you've been around a long time. for those of you who don't know, Boyd has his own YouTube channel. It's Boid Gaming. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing over the last years with Boid Gaming, your YouTube channel?
Mainly uploading my base builds. I've got a few tutorial builds, videos on there on how to build in No Man's Sky, but I'm going to definitely do some updated ones soon. I do quite a bit of streaming on there when I'm building. I've actually just started making Nuketown map off Call of Duty. I'm going to be streaming that later while I build the rest of it. It's coming on really well. I hope people will like that.
Definitely.
As well from back in the day. I think it was Modern Warfare 2 or something. I think it was the original
awesome.
one. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, that brings back memories, eh? Running around with guns shooting everybody.
Oh yeah, that was a nade fest, that map.
Oh, wasn't it? It was a lot of fun, I have to admit, back in the day. Boy. Do you what's the link to your YouTube channel?
Good question. Just Boid_Gaming, I think. Into YouTube search, it'll come up.
I think
I'll send you a link and add it on somewhere.
Yeah, I think I've got it
The
here,
link,
actually.
and we'll try and post it up, and that way, get your name a little bit more out there.
Oh, cool. Cheers.
No worries, buddy.
I know there's Amino Hub app got 2,000 members a couple of days ago, which was unbelievable. Really happy with that.
The Amino Hub has been fantastic. The Amino app itself is Dylan and I have talked about it an awful lot. It's almost the perfect companion app for No Man's Sky.
It is.
There's so much that you can do with it, and yourself, you've run your YouTube channel linked through it, and also this, newly Galactic Construction Company, as well as Facebook. What other media sources does Boid Gaming use?
Reddit. I put links on Reddit and put me a picture there. Twitter. Every now and again, I'll post something on there, and that's about it really. But I'm always on Amino. I think it's a really good app for No Man's Sky. It's great for everyone to share the pictures and stuff in it, and have competitions every week. Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great. No, the community there is so it's very community driven. It's exactly what it is. It's a huge family of NMS fans, and the way that they support each other is second to none, really.
It's a wonderful family, and very active too. You go into the chat rooms. There's always something going on.
Yeah.
People to play with. It's multiplayer has even more accentuated now that with the chat rooms and so on, you can find people through the Amino Hub and link up through there, which is great.
Well, I think we have like about 250 active members a day at the minute, and we're growing really fast. We've got another 100 new members in 2 days. We're going up between about 40 and 50 members a day.
Wow, that's incredible.
That's really good. I think that was a big help from Next dropping as well. We've had a lot of new members, Xbox people and stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah, it's great.
Speaking of Xbox, are there plans, with the Amino Hub to expand with the Xbox? And do you also, are you planning on having an Xbox division to your Galactic Construction Company?
Yeah, definitely. We do want Xbox players to join us because we have had requests for Xbox bases. So if anyone can get in touch on the Facebook site, if they want to position them as company, that'd be great. And for Amino Hub, yeah, we definitely want an Amino Hub Xbox. I wish there were cross-play, but there's not, unfortunately. But
I know, tell me about it.
Hopefully one day.
That would be awesome. Cross-play. Hello Games, if you're out there. Sony, please allow crossplay.
Yeah.
It would be so awesome.
Yeah, play nice.
Yeah, it's Sony, and Hello Games would allow it, definitely, I think.
Yeah.
I think they would if Sony would allow them to release release that in the contract. But yeah, definitely everything is the same between the servers as we've discovered, and that would be really just icing on the cake to be able to communicate and interact with PC and Xbox players all on the same level and build with them too. I mean, I know that might be quite a challenge in rendering, but still, what an amazing feat that would be to be able to build some of those amazing bases.
I mean, that's a good thing about Amino app when we have these photo competitions and that anyone from any platform can enter them, and so it makes us like with all a big community anyway,
Yeah,
no
good
matter
point.
what platform you're on.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it would be able to play with each other.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic. It's a very powerful app. There's so much that you can do with it by using photos and and triangulating yourself. You can actually locate and be in the same place and space in time as another platform. You just may not be able to see them. But I've used it for that many times myself, being able to triangulate positions.
Yeah, exactly. If you find a good ship or multi-tool on one platform, it'll be the same place for other platforms, so you can help each other anyway.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. I just found that out a while ago myself, but I remember, someone had a picture of a multi-tool and it was on PS4, and right away I was like, oh, I'm bummed, man, I'm on PC, and they're like, nah, it doesn't matter, it's the same across the board. So I mean, the technology is there to do crossplay. It's the same game across the board. It's just a shame that I don't think they'll ever do it, but it's a shame.
On another subject, did you guys see that video about them VR files being found? That VR folder?
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. It might make me a little dizzy, but I'm still excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
I've got VR anyway, so I can't wait if that happens.
Yeah, me too. I mainly play on PC, but I've got a PS4, the PSVR headset. So, I mean, if that happens, then I'll be so long PC. I'm back on PS4. Oh, yeah.
You can actually link your PSVR up to your PC, you know, as a way. I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video as well, but I'm like technology ridiculous, so it would take me a while to figure it out. But yeah, I mean, imagine you're building in VR. You know how crazy that would be to actually look around and move your head around and see what you're creating in virtual reality. That would be wild.
Yeah, it would be crazy. There's like a Minecraft game for VR on PlayStation Store. I forgot what it's called, but you can actually see what you're creating on that.
Oh, that's wild.
Which is good.
That's pretty amazing.
A question I did want to ask you as well, actually, regarding that. When you are building things, how difficult is it because you're on your feet? It's not like you're drawing something you can, take a step back and look at what you're doing. Do you have to go back and use like the camera mode to get a wide view of things, or do you go stand on a mountain and look at your canvas sort of thing while you're creating?
Yeah, I do use camera mode a lot to get like a bird's eye view and stuff and view it from afar. But we having to use jetpacks and stuff. We usually build scaffolding quite a lot of times to get around base easier. It really helps.
Yeah, scaffolding. I guess you'd have to, right?
Yeah. Use platforms to like build like square scaffolding all the way around, and then we can stand on them, and it makes it easier. Because sometimes when you're placing these little blocks together, you have to like get above them to make them rotate to right position. Mm-hmm. So that's hard, and you can't really do it if you just jet back up in air and try and do it. You have to be stood on something.
I remember that from pre-Next base building, building small platforms in different areas so you can get at the base in different ways. Obviously, with Next, everything is so much greater and larger, so it makes sense that you would need platforms and scaffolding around the structure as well. Now can you still do a basic layout on the ground and work your way up like you did before? I know you mentioned that you can't create a circle now using the square blocks, but are you still working with templates in that way, or have you had to rethink how you build your bases now?
Well, I really only used templates before making round shapes, and I can't do that now. So I just build where I need to. I don't really build a stencil first. If I'm like doing a building, I'll build like up front at building first, and then like work my way back, and then put roof on after usually.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So you do it all freehand, pretty much, with the exception of a few special designs. That's pretty amazing to be able to see all that architecture in your head, and make it all work. I know myself, I'm completely blind to that. It takes me a lot of work and trial and error.
I've tried
to make a base look good. Yeah, it's difficult. It's not an easy thing to just slap a few blocks together and expect it to look good. There's a lot of thought that goes into it as well, and not only that, but a lot of your builds, Boid, it's not just an empty space. You've got an awful lot of art decor and little pieces that you put into your builds that really make the build. When you walk inside and you see, plants and beds and chairs, tables, tapestries everywhere, the light and the mood that you set. How do you see this in your head, or is it just you sort of try different things and figure it out? Because your builds are amazing, and I think part of what makes them so amazing is how immersed you get, or the feeling you get when you walk inside one of your builds with the lighting and the mood that you've set.
I really did. Most builds that I have a vision. I start what I want it to look like, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, I usually find a workaround anyway. And there's not many times that I've started a build when where it's got to a point where I think this hasn't worked. Usually when I think about what I'm going to build, it seems to work, which is pretty good. And then I do add bits after. I think, it might look better if I go this way with it or whatever.
That is definitely a skill, an architectural skill that a lot of us don't have, myself included. But I very much respect that skill and what you're able to do with even basic building blocks. It's amazing to watch some of his builds. For those of you who don't know, Boid also makes instructional videos on how to do some of this stuff. So I guess in the future, definitely look for some of his tips on his YouTube channel on how to make the new structure pieces work out. I'll definitely be tuning into those.
I'm hoping to get one done by end of this week, a new one for next.
Nice.
Because I've had quite a few people asking me to do one, so I just haven't had time with GCC kicking off and stuff. I just haven't had time to get around it. There's just not enough hours in day, but I'm definitely going to try and get one put out before end of the week.
Jeez, you're a machine, Boid. That's amazing. One more question, or one more thing I'd like to add before we wrap this up. I wanted to quickly mention one of the other huge projects. Boid has taken part in quite a few large projects, building projects. I first got to know him in a project called Project 42, where we built 30 or so bases in a random region. And Boid took it a step further with one of his projects that he calls the Hollywood project, where it was upwards of 60 builds. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Boid. There was a lot of them there. And he had a heck of a crew making these beautiful, amazing Hollywood-themed projects. Could you talk a little bit about that before we go? Is that still around, for that matter, in MS Next?
Well, a lot of them bases have disappeared now since Next updated. I would like to do something again on that and see if we could do. There were so many good builds, and all people who helped with it were amazing. There were over 60 builds. What we just did, and we released them all at once for everyone to come and visit and do what they wanted with and to have a look around. But yeah, it was really great. And then we did gaming projects after, which like were based on any games, board games, computer games, anything really. We had stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario and stuff like that.
I saw some of those.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really good. But, there was an amazing group of people who helped with them. And basically, it was just something to bring builders together, which I tried to do. It was good that the cafe really started that Project 42, and that gave me an idea just to do like a themed one with Hollywood, which also inspired to make stuff from like films rather than just not having any idea what to build, because we're all helping each other decide on like what to build and stuff. Like someone said in one of the what shall I build on a desert planet? So I says try my, and that turned out really good.
Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah, I hope to do some more building projects in the future, but just see how far GCC goes.
I imagine it can be done in an even smaller area of space, as we can build multiple bases in a single system now. You can almost have a city or a collection of cities in a single system, and each system, theme named. What any ideas towards that? Some group.
At the minute, you can only upload one base to the servers from each. So even if you built more than one base, any random people come into that system warping in, they'd only see that one base. They won't see any at best.
Oh, is that how it works?
Right. Okay.
I didn't know that.
So you gotta all have to be online at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have like 4 different bases on a planet and you're all in the same party, you've all joined each other's game, then you can see them 4 bases together. But then if somebody else came into that system who wasn't in your game, they'd only be able to see the first base, what were placed there, what were uploaded.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So this is great science to know and to learn about. We're asking you these, some of the new features and so on like that are pretty amazing, but there are limits still. Well, you're telling us some of those things, which we never would have found.
Yeah.
Without having other players.
Yeah, I hope in the future that they make it so like all bases will be able to see. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I think they probably just didn't at first because they need to make sure all servers are stable, which they're not fully so far. So you don't want to be letting people do too much at minute. I don't reckon.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like when they implemented the orbs with Atlas Rises. I feel like this part of No Man's Sky Next is just the real beginning of multiplayer. I think we're going to see it expand from here. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait for next Olympics.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a blast.
That'll be great.
Are you going to be building anything for that?
Yeah, I'll definitely build something for it. But it depends. I wanted to like. Did you see Cobra's Thunderdome? Cobra and Semtex.
I have.
You've seen it?
Yeah,
jaw dropping. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be a really good event. I think if we got some other arenas made up and stuff, that's a must have in Olympics, I think.
That's a great idea. Sanctioned fighting games, or dog fights. I think that's a great idea for multiplayer. Two willing combatants going at it in a. Yeah, why not? Right.
2 travelers enter, 1 man leaves. Yeah.
that would be kind of fun and exciting at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're 2 willing people willing to duke it out and have some fun doing it. I think that would be kind of fun. I look forward to seeing your gladiator arena, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to build something like that.
Yeah, that'll be a blast. Well, dude,
That's going to be awesome.
thank you so much
Will
for
you
joining
be-
us.
Will you two be joining in Olympics?
I usually
Oh,
tune
I know
in.
I will be.
I usually spectate, and then I'm sure DG and I will probably cover it, kind of similar to what we did last year. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll have to have you on again if you're going to be creating things, especially within that for the events and things. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll definitely come on sometime, mate. I know it. I haven't been working today, so it's been easy to get on. But usually,
Oh, good.
it's just
Well,
time difference is not very good, is it?
no, and
Unless you work time
yeah.
difference.
No, I appreciate
Yeah.
you coming on because I know it's different for all our guests that have been on. We're all in different time zones. I mean, even DG and I are in different time zones, same country, but other opposite ends. So I do appreciate you and everyone that comes on taking the time out of their schedule. I know you guys are all busy with either work or school or families and things like that. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on, mate.
Yeah, well, thanks again for joining us. We'll let you get back to your life over there.
Well,
I know
I'm going to be in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Building Nuketown from Call of Duty on No Man's Sky.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
back to work for you, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so successful. You might have to quit your day job.
I know.
Wow. Well, thanks a lot again, Boyd. Really appreciate you coming on the show today. It's always a pleasure talking to you about your builds and some of your ideas. It's just revolutionary what you can do and what you've been doing. So I appreciate it.
Right, thank you, man. Cheers.
Yeah, so I'll have the links down below to that Facebook page, as well as your Twitter handle and other ways that people can get a hold of you. Don't forget, guys, again, if you want one of these creations built from Boid or from his Galactic Construction Company, just reach out and get a hold of him. You can donate as well to the Alzheimer's charity that he fundraises for. And I think you said earlier today you guys have raised over £400 for that fundraiser, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, which is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's for
Thumbs
a
up.
good cause,
for that.
and you get an awesome
Yep.
base.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, thanks again, and for all those that have tuned in to listen live, thank you very much for that. And if you're listening to the archive of this, that's because you are a wonderful person. So we will see you again next Monday, and thanks again, Boyd, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. Bye then.
Till next time, travelers.